Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So who will Manchester United's next signing be in this summer transfer window? Now as you all know, we have got a lot of players on our agenda. Now just want to give you some breaking news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So according to the Daily Express, Jadon Sancho is in pole position to join Manchester United after his appearance for England against Iceland. I think that has put a bonus payment in his Borussia Dortmund contract. Now obviously Jadon Sancho does remain our number one priority target. Now it's also said that we will negotiate a fee for Sancho when we have come to an agreement with his representatives. I think we are still in negotiations with his representatives. Now he did say not so long ago that we're set to finalise the salary and the fees of Jadon Sancho's agent before putting a bid in for the player. So Sancho to Manchester United is a possibility. Quite a few weeks ago, Sancho to Manchester United looked dead in the water because it had mentioned that we had abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021, which is obviously next summer. And you had Borussia Dortmund's CEO, sporting director, and another one of their directors saying that Jadon Sancho is staying at Borussia Dortmund. I think the wage demands have been a stumbling block recently. But I think throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, like I've said before, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Because Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. Dortmund, I think, have been looking for like £90 million up front. I think we're only willing to pay like £60 or £70 million up front. Like I've said to you, I think Jadon Sancho is an exceptional player, but I just don't think he's worth what Dortmund are demanding. I think he's probably worth in between 70 to 80 million pounds. Now, around 4 weeks ago, it was looking very, very imminent that Sancho was going to be signing for Manchester United, because obviously Fabrizio Romano had come out and said that Sancho has agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he was set to sign a 5-year contract with a football club. But just after that got reported, it said that talks had broken down between Man United and Dortmund because of Borussia Dortmund's asking price. But Solskjaer's obviously said that if he signs Jadon Sancho, he wants to make 2 more signings after him. But I said if we was willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price, then obviously Sancho would be our most expensive signing, and he would be the most expensive English player in history. It only said we'll give up on Sancho if he publicly says that he wants to stay at Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Sancho's endured 3 years with Dortmund. I think since his arrival in Germany, he has been exceptional. He's got a contract with them, I think, until 2022. Dortmund only paid £8 million for him, so they got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. If Sancho is sold in this summer transfer window, like I've said before, it will be good from a Manchester City perspective because they'll benefit from it. I think City do get around 15% of the transfer fee. Sancho did enjoy a couple of years at City. The main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he did not get assured any first team opportunities. Before he was at City, he was at Watford. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. That's where he began his footballing career. But Sancho has said quite a few times that he wants to come to Manchester United, and I've outlined the reasons why I want him at the football club, because he's got good physical attributes, still very, very young. I think he's still only the age of 20, predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for the right winger, and he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. We've already made a promise to Sancho that we are willing to offer him the number 7. Obviously, we've got number 7 vacant at the moment. But in recent weeks and that, we have been looking at a lot of alternatives to Sancho, because I will make an admission, he is much cheaper solutions than him. You know, we've been looking at the likes of Douglas Costa from Juventus. We've also been looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We've been looking at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. You know, we've looked at Robbie Matondo from Schalke before. You know, but I think Dortmund are very, very convinced that he will remain loyal to them for at least another season. Don't forget, Dortmund did set the deadline. You know, they said we had until the 10th of August, which was obviously last month, to sign Sancho. Obviously, we failed to meet that deadline, so Sancho decided to go out on pre-season. So, possibly Sancho could be our second signing in this summer transfer window. So, that is the news on him. Now, obviously, earlier on today, I give you the breaking news on Sergio Reguilon from Real Madrid. Obviously, Sergio Reguilon is a left-back, and I think it would be very beneficial if Manchester United could get a left-back in. We've got two predominant left-backs in the team at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. Luke Shaw's our first-choice left-back, and Brandon Williams is our backup left-back. There again, we've got Diego Dalot and Timothy Fosu-Mensah that can also be deployed as a left-back as well. So we've not yet made a decision on the Sergio Reguilon transfer. Like I said to you earlier on today, there is an issue that's been created with the Sergio Reguilon transfer. Real Madrid do want to insert a buyback clause in any deal. There was reports coming out yesterday saying that, you know, we was planning to put around the £25 million bidding for the player. Fabrizio Romano, he recently said that Sergio Reguilon has been offered to Manchester United by Real Madrid. He also mentioned recently that he's been offered to the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham. I think it's looking very, very imminent that he's going to be leaving Real Madrid, because obviously he can't get in Real Madrid's team. You know, Zinedine Zidane prefers Ferland Mendy and Marcelo ahead of Reguilon. Real Madrid do value him in the £20-odd million range. Very cheap solution, only at the age of 23. Has been at Real Madrid for several years. I think he's been at Real Madrid since like 2005. Don't forget, last season he was out on loan with Sevilla. I think he played around 38 games in all competitions last season with Sevilla. Sevilla have inquired about getting him on loan again. He also had a few loan spells with the Logrones. Sergio Reguilon's under contract with Real Madrid until 2023. And over the years, you know, we've purchased quite a few players from the La Liga. Don't forget, we've got David De Gea from Atletico Madrid. You know, we've got Ander Herrera from Atletico Bilbao. You know, we've got Victor Valdez from the La Liga. You know, there's a few players we've bought from La Liga. Obviously, can't remember them all. Obviously, Alex Telles from Porto. He's another player on our agenda. Portuguese outlet Ebola, they've come out and said that Manchester United's interest has intensified in Alex Telles. His agent was in Manchester recently to thrash out a deal for his client to join Manchester United. You'd probably get Alex Telles in the £20-odd million range. I think before PSG were close to getting him, but PSG weren't willing to meet the €30 million that Porto were demanding. Now, would you take Alex Telles over Sergio Reguilon? Alex Telles is also a left back. His contract with Porto does expire next year. He's enjoyed around 4 years with Porto. I think he's played over 100 games for them. 100 games for them in the Portuguese league. Alright. Porto did pay around €6.5 million for him. I think from Galatasaray, because obviously he was on loan with Inter Milan. When he was younger, he played for Grêmio, and before that I think he was at Juventude. and he is the age of 27. You already know the news on Dayot Upamecano from RB Leipzig. I think we're looking to sign him next summer, because obviously next summer he will be cheaper. His release clause can be triggered next summer, and this release clause is around £38 million. He recently extended his contract with RB Leipzig till 2023, and Leipzig did recently say he wasn't for sale, but if we was to sign him in this summer transfer window, it'd probably cost around £58 million. But he is a centre half, his Dayot Upamecano, and we do need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire. You know the news on Tiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich. I think there's a lot of uncertainty regarding his future at the moment. Don't forget he missed Bayern Munich training recently. He recently spoken about his future, and he actually denied asking to leave Bayern Munich, but he's actually said that he could end up staying at Bayern Munich. Obviously, Liverpool are in advanced talks to sign Tiago. Liverpool have been emerged as the favourites for a while. Liverpool will only step up their interest if Gini Wijnaldum is sold in this summer transfer window, and obviously Barcelona are looking to get him. Bayern Munich have already revealed their asking price. They want around £25 million for Tiago, and that is a cheap solution. But there isn't really any explanation why Tiago would want to leave, because of how dominant Bayern Munich are. Tiago has endured 7 seasons with Bayern Munich, won a total of 16 major honours, scored 31 goals in 235 games in all competitions. Tiago's contract with Bayern Munich does expire next year, so that's when he'll be available on a free. Bayern Munich paid €25 million for him from Barcelona back in 2013. Solskjaer recently held talks with Tiago in person over a possible move to Man United, because we're looking to hijack Liverpool's move for the player. And he's 29 years of age, is Tiago. He's in his late 20s. Predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but he can also be deployed as an attacking midfielder and a holding midfielder and that. But we must make more signings in this summer transfer window. We have only made one signing at the moment, and that is obviously Donny van de Beek from Ajax. And I think Donny van de Beek is going to be a very good signing for Man United, and I think he's going to complement Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba fantastically well in our midfield. But we need more than him. Obviously, it's around 4 weeks now until the summer transfer window shuts, so Manchester United have got a lot to do. Obviously, bring more players in, obviously sell players as well. We could get rid of up to at least 8 players in this summer transfer window. Obviously, we're looking to get rid of the likes of Jesse Lingard. We're looking to get rid of Andres Pereira. We're looking to get rid of the likes of Smalling, Rojo, Jones, Delors. Don't forget Sergio Romero is open to leaving the football club. But Solskjaer recently revealed that he has been frustrated with Ed Woodward. Main explanation is over the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. And I did say recently, didn't I, that Man United are losing a lot of patience with the board. Obviously, reflects on how poor our recruitment policy has been for several years. We've also overpaid for players in recent years. And we've also made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's another one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. But, Woodward said quite a few times, that he's determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this summer transfer window. And a lot last season, he assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was safe. Also, too, the Glazers said that they are determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think Solskjaer deserves to be backed more. And I think Solskjaer's totally blameless in this lack of transfer activity in that, because I think Solskjaer is progressing as Manchester United manager. He publicly come out and admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool and now perhaps Chelsea. This summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. I don't know if Solskjaer's the right manager for Man United, and I don't know if he's the foreseeable future for the football club. I think this season will tell the story, because it's a transition period at Man United, and it has been a transition period for a while. But this season is a big test for Solskjaer, because obviously this season is his 2nd full season at the club. Obviously, we need to see improvements this season as well. I still think there's certain players that have got to improve. I think Harry Maguire's got to improve. Obviously, this season's going to be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Manchester United. Obviously, last season was his 1st full season at the football club. Obviously, we've got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million last summer from Leicester. 2nd most expensive signing at the club, and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Don't forget, Harry Maguire was recently given extra time off for his arrest in Greece, and obviously his court case in Greece. We know that this season Harry Maguire is going to remain captain of Manchester United. We give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure back in January. I think there's aspects of Victor Lindelof's game that's also got to improve. Obviously, if we're to get a centre-half in this summer transfer window, then Victor Lindelof would be one of the backups. Victor Lindelof has endured 3 years at Man United. Obviously, we got him from Benfica back in 2017 for £30 million. I think Bay, his fitness levels have got to improve, because Bay is far too injury prone. Obviously, Bay's endured 4 years with Manchester United. Obviously, we got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. He's one of our backup centre-halves. I think he will remain at Manchester United for this season at least. I know there's been a few rumours saying that he could possibly leave the football club. Luke Shaw's fitness does need to improve as well, because I think Luke Shaw's too injury prone. Luke Shaw did sustain an ankle injury towards the end of last season. Luke Shaw's endured 6 years at the football club. I think we need to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka, because that's what he's lacking at the moment. For the vast majority of last season, I thought Wan-Bissaka was exceptional. His defensive contribution was very, very good, and I think Wan-Bissaka can be our right back for the next decade at least. And he can probably emulate into the next Gary Neville and that. I thought towards the end of last season, though, looked a bit fatigued, didn't he? We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. De Gea, he's obviously got to get back to his best. David De Gea's been making a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years, so this is why he has been a liability. This season's going to be David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United. Obviously, so far he's endured 9 years with a football club, and I think he's had 7 good seasons out of the 9 years he's been with us. De Gea has made around 405 appearances for Man United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances over the years. I said if we'd have sold De Gea in this summer transfer window, we'd have got £60 million for him, even though he's been inconsistent in the last couple of years. We paid just over £18 million for De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011, but when De Gea does eventually leave Man United, I think he will go back to Spain. I really, really do. Probably got to say there's aspects of Marcus Rashford's game that's also got to improve. Rashford has improved under Solskjaer, but probably needs to improve his fitness a little bit. Had a few injuries, hasn't he? Obviously out with an ankle injury at the moment. Obviously had a back injury for us last season, did Marcus Rashford. Definitely Rashford's a foreseeable future for Man United. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, become an integral part of our team. We know now that Marcus Rashford does play on that left-hand side, but also can play centrally. Like I said, I think there's aspects of our game that have also got to improve. Solskjaer's also got to improve his decision making, because in a lot of games last season, Solskjaer was very tactically naive, but in a lot of the big games last season, Solskjaer showed a lot of tactical flexibility, which was obviously very, very good. But don't get me wrong, I have seen improvements since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came into the club. I think definitely our recruitment has improved under him. Obviously, so far, Solskjaer spent over £200 million at Manchester United. Obviously, last summer brought Daniel James in for £15 million. Is there a possibility chance we could loan Daniel James out? Because obviously, towards the back end of last season, Mason Greenwood was getting starts ahead of Daniel James and that. And obviously, if we sign Sancho, then there's no room for James whatsoever. But I think for the vast majority of last season, still did very, very well. For the vast majority of last season when we played him, we put him on that right-hand side, even though he's supposed to be more effective from the left. We also brought Wan-Bissaka in. Don't forget, we obviously brought Harry Maguire in. And in January, we obviously brought Bruno Fernandes in. And obviously, we brought Odi Nagalo in on loan. Just after lockdown, we extended Odi Nagalo's loan until January 2021. And we recently brought Donny van der Beek in. And Solskjaer's also brought a few academy players into the football club. So it's good that he's bringing a lot of young players through. We've got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United, which is also good as well. I think Solskjaer also promoted the youth very, very well last season. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in to the football club. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts since he came in. The recent players to sign new contracts were obviously Brandon Williams. He signed a 4-year deal with an option of a further year. Matic, not so long ago, signed a 3-year deal. McTominay, I think this was just before the Sheffield United game, just after the second game after lockdown. McTominay signed a 5-year deal at the club. Dean Henderson a few weeks ago signed a 6-year deal with Man United with around 120 grand a week. But I still think we've got around 6 or 7 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. Something like that, anyway. But yeah, and I think there's also a lot of players that have improved under Solskjaer, especially the top players. I think the likes of Martial's really, really improved. Martial was absolutely exceptional last season under Solskjaer, and I thought he was very, very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We paid £36 million for Anthony Martial from Monaco. He's had 2 good seasons out of the 5 years he's been with us. Obviously, we know now he plays in that number 9, does Martial. I think he's very, very effective in that central position, even though that's not his predominant position. I've also got to be honest as well, Fred has really, really improved under Solskjaer. Fred's found game time hard since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, and he could find game time even more now difficult, with Donny van der Beek in. Because obviously our first choice midfield trio is going to be Van der Beek, Pogba and Fernandes. But what a midfield trio that is. There has been rumours in recent weeks of Fred leaving the club. Galatasaray have inquired about getting him on loan. Also to Roma have been interested in him. Fred's enjoyed a few years with the club. We did pay £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. And obviously Fred has got a contract with us until 2023. Very, very mobile, but he's really, really improved. But under the Jose Mourinho era, let's be honest, Fred never really got his opportunities. Also got to say McTominay, he's really improved under Solskjaer. Definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. I heard that we've actually given McTominay a new role. He's now our first choice defensive midfielder. So he's obviously now going to get there ahead of Matic. Obviously McTominay, don't forget, last season though was out with an ankle injury. And Matic, there's definitely aspects of his game that have also really, really improved. Matic was getting a lot of starts towards the end of last season. Matic has enjoyed 3 years with the club. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Greenwood was exceptional last season. Last season was his first full season in our senior squad. Don't forget, Mason Greenwood was withdrawn from the England squad, so too Phil Foden, because they was caught bringing girls to the team hotel, and they broke COVID-19 guidelines and that. Mason Greenwood, don't forget, recently got the number 11. He's the fourth Manchester United player. Well, he's going to be the fourth Manchester United player, to play in the number 11. Obviously, before we had Martial number 11, Adnan Januzaj and Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs endured around 25 years with Man United and that. And I think Luke Shaw, he's another player that's also really, really improved. He has. Bruno Fernandes, he's been exceptional since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January. Don't forget he's won Premier League Player of the Month 3 times for us. Scored around 12 or 13 goals in all competitions since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon. I think we got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth like £55 million. Definitely has made the difference in the team. And I think Pogbino was very, very good towards the end of last season as well. He was exceptional. His combination with Bruno Fernandes was very, very good. For the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on Paul Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury. But he sustained a few injuries as a Man United player. I just think, we've got to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club to end the uncertainty over his future. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. He recently said that he was refusing to sign a new contract with Man United because he's waiting for Juventus, his former club, to make an offer. But Mini Raiola a few weeks ago said that Pogba's staying at Man United and he will hold talks over a new contract. But like I said, this season Solskjaer's going to have bigger expectations to exceed. Our expectations this season, I think, will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Obviously, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. And we haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years. We've been playing catch-up for the last 7 years because obviously we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players, and this is including what we spent under Solskjaer. 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, sacked after like 8 or 9 months. Didn't win out under David Moyes. I think we actually finished 7th under David Moyes. I think the lowest we finished in the Premier League era. Obviously, Moyes brought 2 players in, that was Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata. Obviously, Louis van Gaal, he endured 2 years at Manchester United. We did win the FA Cup under him. Obviously, Van Gaal brought around 16 players in. He brought the likes of Sneijderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial and Shaw, who was still here. Victor Valdez, Herrera, Sergio Romero. Van Gaal brought a hell of a lot of players in. And Jose Mourinho, he endured 2 years at the club, did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Man United. I think he also got second in his first season with us. 2.5 years, yeah. Mourinho recommended around 11 players into the club, but I give you the main explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and the board basically just weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. And like I said to Solskjaer has been in a similar position to what Mourinho was in. Because like I said, I don't think Solskjaer is getting backed enough. So, like I've said, Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial areas, but the vast majority of his team is Jose Mourinho's and that. And I think it's very, very imperative that we win a trophy this season because we haven't won a major honour for over 3 years, and that's the first time this has happened in over 30 years, is it? And we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer's been at Manchester United now, is it around 20 or 21 months? He has been at the football club over a year and a half. So, a big season this for Manchester United. Obviously, last season was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. Exceeded most of his expectations. Obviously, got us qualification for the Champions League. Also, we finished 3rd. And we progressed to 3 semi-finals, which was also good, but obviously not good enough. Obviously, Crystal Palace is our first game of the Premier League season. Should be a game Man United should be winning. You know, Donny van de Beek should be making his debut in that game. Brighton's the second game, another game we should be winning. But within our first 7 games, we've got Arsenal, Chelsea and Everton and Tottenham. So we haven't got the easiest of starts. I recently said to you how Manchester United can win the title under Solskjaer, and that's obviously, you know, making at least 5 signings. We're definitely not going to make 5 signings in this summer transfer window. Keeping, obviously, the players that we need to keep. Obviously, getting rid of more of the deadwood and that. Some people don't think, you know, Solskjaer's good enough to win the title for Manchester United. You know, Solskjaer's now got that managerial experience behind him. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. But the good news is as well, we are unbeaten in the league since January. So we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. We also went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final and that. You know, but I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. Ferguson endured 20-odd years at Manchester United and won a total of 38 major honours, including, you know, 13 Premier League titles. We are the most successful team in Premier League history at the moment, but in the entirety of our history, we have won 45 trophies. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.